Hi, Sam. Lately, on a bunch of the boats, we've been getting reports where people complain of water in their center bilge. And they'll say typically it's when after they've been running the boat and they'll tell me that they notice water in the boat. They say, well, maybe my water tank's leaking or something like that. And I said, no, usually it's not. 99% of the time, it's the temperature and pressure valve on the water heater. We've been getting a rash of them that have been failing lately. And so what you do is you can go down to your local Home Depot. This is what it looks like. It's a temperature and pressure relief valve. And if you're curious if yours is leaking or not, they're on the side of the water heater. And they'll typically have a line running down from it. So sometimes it's a clear line, sometimes it's a copper line like this one is. So you can take this off and see, and as you can see, there's moisture there. So what this one is it's just dripping out of there slowly. But when we're running the engines, this particular water heater is heated from the engine as well. So what happens is the water in this tank is going to heat up to about 170 degrees. And when that happens, this thing pops off and it starts blowing the water down into the bilge. Well, see, a lot of people won't think that it's the pressure relief valve because they don't see anything because it's going through this tube, and they'll just see water in the bilge. But if you disconnect this just to put something underneath it or to see if your finger gets wet, that means it's dripping. That means it's dripping through. So that's how you know that we need to replace that. So to start, we bought one of these at Home Depot. It's got the 3/4 inch threaded connection, so we're going to be able to put that adapter back on. We're going to be able to hook that blue pipe that goes into the bilge back on it. It comes pre-pipe doped, but I always like to add a little bit to it just to make sure. So we're just going to add a couple wraps Teflon tape just to make sure. And so the whole purpose of this valve is if something were to malfunction in the water heater where the heater the thermostat went bad and the heat just keeps heating and heating and heating, you would eventually, this is a safety valve, you would want it to pop off before the hot water heater explodes. So that's the purpose of this. I mean, I doubt you're ever going to get the water hot enough to steam, to blow it up, but all hot water heaters, even the ones in your house, have this. So that's what it's for. It's a safety device, and there's a spring that pops off and releases water when it's needed. So now we're going to take a little break. I'm going to get a cup so I can put it underneath here and drain all the water that I can out of here so that when I unscrew it, it doesn't make a huge mess.
So what are you doing back there right now?
So what I did was I opened it up and I drained a cup of water, took the pressure off of it. Well, first thing that I did before we started any of this, Sam, was I turned the water pump off. I turned the water pump off and I opened a faucet to drain the pressure off the system. Then I came down here and I opened it. And the way you open that is you lift this up, you open it, and I drained. I put a cup underneath here and I drained whatever water was in there, because when I unscrew that one, I don't want water spraying out all over the place. I've got a couple rags to if I just spill a few drops, but I don't want, a whole cup full just come shooting out of there. So I drained the pressure off of that. So now, Sam, I'm going to put a wrench on, and I'm going to take this one out, and I've got the other one ready to go on, so I can just unscrew this one, screw the other one in. They come out pretty easy. And I don't know why, but we've been getting a rash of these going bad lately. And it can really ruin your trip for a $13 part that you can get at Home Depot.
Having some camera issues.
What's that?
Having some camera issues. The gimbal keeps going sideways on me.
Well, that's not good. So if we look at the old one we took out, you can see there's some growth and some hardness of the water. And that seal in there, just if it blew off once, it's not sealing again. So there's a little rubber seal in there, and there's that spring, and it's just not sealing anymore. So you see this calcium buildup on there? That's from our hard water, and we get calcium in the water, and all it takes is a little bit of that to get in that rubber seal, and it's never going to seal again. So, like I said, we've been having, I don't know if it's the water hardness or the water quality, but we've been having a rash of these lately, and if you don't have one on board, next time you're at Home Depot, buy one and just keep it on board, because I have a feeling a lot of these are going to be going bad this summer. And it's a cheap and easy fix, and it's a good thing to just keep on board if you need it. And you know, if it's an emergency situation or something, you know, you don't have to hook the drain back up to the bilge. You'll know when it's leaking, because things will start getting wet down here if you didn't have that. So we just tighten it nice and tight. I got a big crescent wrench on it. We don't want it to leak. And I had a rag down there for a couple drips that did come out. So I'm going to line that back up again, nice and straight. This is our fitting that goes into it that went to the flared copper line that goes into the bilge. And we're going to put that back in.
Hey, we're going to pause for a second to try and fix the camera. Sorry guys, we had some camera issues. I think I fixed the gimbal now though. Darn cameras.
So, not sure where we left off, but so now we're putting the fitting back on so it can drain back into the bilge if it does have an issue. And we're good to go. This customer is on his merry way. Next time he runs the boat, it won't leak. And even while he's sitting here in the dock, it was dripping past, and probably didn't even notice it. Just a little bit of water in the bilge. So, just so you know, most of the Mikelsons, the later models anyhow, the engine room is separate from the forward bilges. If you have water in the forward bilges, something is leaking. So, something that should be addressed. Our boats are made to have nice dry bilges up forward. The engine room occasionally gets some washdown water or some water from the packing glands or things like that, but the forward bilges should always be bone dry.
And we're in the under salon on a Mikelson 50 right now. So to give you some reference, we're in the salon, the under salon right here. Should be bone dry down there. Nice washer dryer unit. Yeah, got plenty of space for tools and all that good stuff. Nice big area. All right, Captain, is that it?
That's all for today.
All right, and that was how to
change out your temperature and pressure relief valve on your freshwater heater.
Nice. All right, until next time, guys. Boom.
Take me to the gun show.